Hi there everybody and welcome. It's Jackie here from Stampingjack.com and it's Facebook Live time. It's been quite a long time since I've been on. I think the last one I did was in December or something like that. But here we are, we're back. I'm just going to check my settings quickly, but when you arrive, just leave me a comment in here. Say hi so I know you're here. Just bear with me 1 second. Make sure we're coming through properly. But here we are. Let's see. There we go. Okay, excellent, fantastic. Right, looks good. Let's hope that the internet holds out because I'm in a different location than I used to be. So just to update you, I'm not in the UK anymore. I moved to the Isle of Man at the beginning of March. I've been here a month. Things have been pretty crazy here, as you can imagine, with all that's happening and has been happening. So thankfully I'm safe, my family is safe, and all is well. The only real downside for me is that my family are in the UK and I'm here. And basically there's no travel permitted between here and the UK either way. So I'm here without family, but you know, everything's good. Oh, I've just got a message. Anne, I've got a message saying you're waiting, but we're on. So do you want to say hi? Just check. Let me just, I'm not sure if I'm seeing comments or not, so if you're there, can you leave me a comment so I can see it? Hi Jude, welcome, it's good to see you. How are you keeping? I hope you're doing all right. I was just explaining that life's been a bit crazy here the last little while, as I think it has been for everybody. Yeah, just getting on with it. Hi Diane, welcome. Good to have you with us. Glad you made it. I can't tell you how much I've been looking forward to this evening. I've really missed crafting. I kind of packed up my stuff around about December, January. Hi Jenny, welcome. Thanks for sharing. Hi Anne, it's good to be here. Just saying, I've been so excited about tonight. I can't tell you. I've got all my crafting stuff. I packed it up around about December, January time. So it's been a long time. Got itchy fingers. So I've got some cool projects for you this evening. And I've got daylight. Hi Lynn, welcome. So I'm just looking out my window, which is that way, and I can see the sea, which is really nice. Hi Doreen, great to have you on board. I hope, as I said, everybody is keeping safe, and that life is this whole lockdown situation is not presenting you with too many problems, and that, as I said, the main thing is that everybody is keeping safe. So tonight I have some cute little projects with you that will just be hopefully a little bit of an escape, and hopefully it'll be, for me anyway, a return to a bit of normality of having my weekly Facebook Lives. As most of you will see, and I did a poll on the page asking what night is best. So Tuesday won the day, so we'll stick with Tuesday at 7 going forward, and we'll see how that one goes, see how that suits everybody. So what say you, we get stuck in and we get crafting, because it's been long enough, hasn't it, guys? Absolutely. So let's see, where shall we start? I think I'm going to start by making a Easter card. Also, I don't know if any of you saw, but I got all my craft stuff. I unpacked it, only to find that I hadn't packed any adhesives. Nothing, zero. So I was going to be, I thought, oh great, I'm just going to have to do single layer cards, and I really struggle with single layer cards. I just cannot do them. But I managed to find some glue and some supplies, so it's been an interesting experience using my non-Stampin' Up! stuff and comparing it. And I have to say, I've ordered my Stampin' Up! Glues, and I can't wait. Can't wait to have them back. Whilst these supplies have certainly saved the day and got me over the hump, they wouldn't be my go-tos. I'll show you something. People often ask me, with our Tombow glue, the wet glue that we have, they say, you know, really it's just PVA glue. What's the difference? And I tell you, I found it out before, and I've just realised it again. So I got this glue, which I thought, you know, this is for doing crafting. It's Dovecraft, which is a good brand. But what I found happened is, this is a card I made, and if you look, right, the glue just dries and warps your cardstock, and it dries hard, so it kind of shows through. And this is my card after having had it underneath some really quite heavy books for about a day. So needless to say, that didn't really win with my approval. So I've been managing without wet glue for the minute, and you'd be surprised. Be surprised what a challenge that is, because I haven't got any double-sided tape either. But anyway, so what I've got is I've sort of got the same sort of layout for most of my cards, which is basically a card base and then a die cut shape that I'm going to. I know, Anne, I know there's a supplier on Amazon for Tombow, and when we were running low, I stocked up. So don't worry. Tombow's not a Stampin' Up! Product. It's just one we sell. So don't worry about it. I would rather you have the right glue than just direct you only to something that we can sell. It's more important that you've got the right stuff. So yes, my basic plan for all the cards tonight is a card base and a die cut shape, and then we're just going to work around that. So the first one I'm going to make is an Easter card, because it is Easter this weekend, believe it or not. So I'm going to use the Painted Poppies stamp set for this, and we're going to use some, let's see, we have some Pear Pizzazz, some Daffodil Delight, so we're going to use this one. And then we're going to use this one, which is a splatter. And I have to say, I love a good splatter stamp. We had one a few years ago. There's a stamp set called Gorgeous Grunge, and I loved it. It's great. So we're just going to use this. And then we're going to use, let's grab it, going to use our new Stays On Brown. Okay, so let's just, first of all, ink up. Oh look, I haven't even opened it yet, look. Oh yeah, it smells nice too. Okay, so I'm using the brown because I don't want anything as harsh as the black. Okay, so I'm just going to, get a piece of, so I'm just going to stamp that to one side, like so. Okay, there we go. Let's give that a second, and then I'm just going to grab my blender pen. So I'm just going to colour in my image. Now you could use your Stampin' blends, or you could watercolour it, you could use pencils, anything you like. But one of my favourites, and one of the most economical ways to be able to colour, is just to get a blender pen, because then you can use any ink pad that you've got. But first I'm just going to grab a piece of paper. Just one second. Here we go. Alright, so we'll start with the Pear Pizzazz. And just going to, and I'm not being particularly careful about this. It's kind of a loose sort of image anyway, so I'm not worrying too much about staying inside the lines, mainly because I struggle with that. So no point stressing. Okay, so that's that. And then we just scribble that off. We just scribble it off until it's clear, and then we can use the yellow. So I'm just going to add that in there. And then again. You could take lots and lots of time over this with shading and everything else, but you guys know me. I'm not the kind of person that likes to spend hours and hours and hours on a single card. Okay, so that's that done. Okay, so we'll just put that to one side. Now we're going to bring back in our image, and I've just got a little bit of tape. I'm just going to put, see, this is why. This is why. See, my Stampin' Up! Runner would never do that. So I'm just going to, because I don't want to stick this down, I just want to hold it in place while I do some stamping. So I'm just going to take the tackiness off. There we go. And then we're just going to position that there. Okay. Yeah, and then grab our paper again. So now I'm going to take my stamp set, up my splatter stamp, okay? And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to, well, first thing I'm going to do is straighten this up a little. And I'm just going to stamp like so, and then just keep stamping off. Okay, I'm going to add a little bit more. All right, and then I'm going to clean it off, and we're going to do the same with the green. So I'm just going to stamp it and then stamp off like that. Okay, and then you can see we've got a gap here, so all I'm going to do is then take this stamp and just add a bit more so that it fills in that gap. And go back in with the yellow. Okay. And then we can place it back in there. And then I just need a strip. Just 1 second. So this is a strip that's left over from trimming my cardstock. And we've got the Timeless Tulips stamp set, and I'm going to use the Happy Easter, Happy Spring stamp set, but I'm not going to do the whole thing. I don't want all of it. So I could mask off, I just want the Happy Easter, which is this bit. So I could mask this bit off and mask this bit off, but because it's a clear stamp, it's a lot easier. You can just, I don't know if you could see that, but basically you can just look at it and say, okay, you can easily see where to ink it up if you're careful. And then I'm just going to, don't want the comma, so you can see just my Happy Easter is inked up, and then I'm just going to stamp it on here. Like so. And I'm not happy with that because it's not straight. See, I'm out of practice. So let's try that one again. There we go. So let's stamp that one more time. Let's see if I can get it straight this time. Yeah. Oh, but I forgot to clean it off. You guys, it's been too long. I need more practice. And trust me, I'm going to make sure that I get the practice that I need. So you can see I'm just making sure there isn't any on the others. And this, let's see, third time's the charm, eh? Let's see if this one works. There we go, perfect. Okay, so then we're just going to trim this end. Yeah, okay. And then I've got some foam pads. I'm just going to cut this because I don't want the whole width of it. This is really quite sticky. So just pop that on the back. Okay, and then we're just going to pop this up. The glue keeps sticking to my fingers. I must have warm fingers or something. There So this is a really good way of, what I was trying to do, the reason this came about is that I was trying to avoid having layers because my glue just wouldn't, it just wasn't sticking my layers nicely. It was messing up my card. So this is where how I got a little bit of dimension in without actually creating lots of layers. So we'll pop that there. And then, very important, is a bit of Wink of Stella. So I'm going to go. Hopefully you can see. Can you see the gleamy bit on there? And then we're just going to add some Wink of Stella to the actual flower. And there we go. Really simple Easter card. And my first card on Alive for months. So I'm really pleased with that. I've broken my duck now, ladies. Right, so that's card number 1. Okay, and I have another Easter card for later, but the next one I'm going to make, okay, is, my bits, can't get used to my workspace yet, everything's kind of in a different bit, you know when you just get used to your stuff being in a particular way, in a particular spot, and now it isn't, so I'm just trying to kind of figure myself out in terms of where everything is. Okay, so the next card we're going to make is a thank you card. And I'm going to use a similar layout. Yes, this is the one. Okay, so we'll put that to one side. And so we've got, again, a Whisper White base. And we've also got the same, so this label comes from the die set that goes with the Painted Poppies stamp set. Okay, so put it that way. So it's a similar one, but what I'm going to use this time is I'm going to use the Peaceful Poppies Elements set. And this is really kind of cool because it's got like some die printed stuff, it's got some labels, borders, it's got some gorgeous vellum-y bits. And it's got some watercolor paper here, which has been embossed, ready for you to watercolor, so you get an embossed resist look. But these little embellishments are really, really cool. But what we're going to do is going to use this. Oh, and I just realised I should have cut some stuff out. Just bear with me 1 second. What I need, let's get these, get the dies. Just chat amongst yourselves there for a minute. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just cut some of these leaves out on some vellum. So I'll be right back. Won't take a sec. Here we go. And then I'm just going to grab my Old Olive blend, and what I'm going to do is just colour my vellum. So because the blends are alcohol based, it means that you can colour on the vellum and it will dry. Whereas if you try and colour on the vellum with normal dye ink or anything water based, you find it difficult. It doesn't really set. You can heat set it, but it doesn't always work. Whereas with this, all you do is just colour over it, and you see that it will dry itself. There you go. So we'll set that aside for a second. And while we do that, we're going to do the same, but we're going to use red and black. So just going to grab my memento. Okay, so we've got a slightly different layout, which is this way. So again, I'm just going to put just a tiny little bit of snail, just to line it up, just to keep it in place. Okay, so I'm going to do the same. Let's clean this up. I'm going to ink up in the black. Okay, and again, I'm just going to stamp and then stamp off, and then I'm going to kind of do the same on this side. I just want the splats to come out a little bit further. Okay, and then with the red, I'm going to do the kind of opposite corners. Okay, and pop this off and just fill in some of those gaps around here. Okay. There we go. Now, what I should have said is that I've turned mine over because I don't want the splats actually on it. I want it clean. So we're going to actually work on this side. Okay. So then for my sentiment, I've got the Good Morning Magnolia set, and I'm going to use this thanks, because I've got a few thanks cards that I need to make. There's been some people here who've been really kind to me over the last few weeks, and really thoughtful. Most of all, I've got to thank the lady at my office who arranged for all of my stuff to be brought. So I work for a logistics company, so they said, well, you know, that's what we do. So they sent somebody down to my house in Surrey and picked it up and brought it back. So I'm very, very grateful for that. Okay, so now what we're going to do is I just want to line this up. Like so. There we go. Okay, and now we're just going to arrange our bits on the bottom. So what I'm going to do with these is I'm actually going to cut up these leaves so they're easier to arrange. And this is a really good tip like that if you've got big long leaf dies, by cutting them, if you're just going to be sticking them in behind, by cutting them up like this, it makes it a lot easier. You get a lot more out of them. So I'm going to grab another foam pad. Okay, I'm going to pop that on the back. Okay, and then what we'll do is we will just arrange these on the back. So all I'm doing is I'm just attaching them to the pad and arranging them around to just extend those leaves a little bit further, like so. There we go. And then I think we want one here, and then a couple up here. And then put one there. So you can see there's still plenty of foam pad left. Whoops. To stick this down. So then we're just going to pop that on there. Actually, I'm going to move that because I don't want it obscuring my sentiments. I'm just going to flip it over. That should, yeah, that's better. So we're just going to pop that on there. like so. And then also from the embellishment set, you've got these lovely banners. So you can see they're plain black, but they've got lovely shiny black edge to them, so that's really quite fun. So I'm just going to add a bit of curl to this, okay, and then bringing back our card base, okay. I'm just going to get some glue dots, so I'll pop some on the back here. And again, with these, I miss my mini glue dots because these are a little bit big for what I need. But anyway, beggars can't be choosers, and I'll have my proper supplies back soon. So we'll pop that there, and then we'll get some, I'm going to pop this one up as well. So we just want one on either side. And let me just line that up like so, and then I'm going to do the same as before. I'm going to spritz my Wink of Stella on there. Okay, and then I think I'm going to add a little rhinestone, and I'm looking here and I've got left over from previous projects. I've got some that I've coloured black and one that I've coloured red. So let's put some black rhinestone on there. And just pop one there. So again, to colour your rhinestones, you just need a Sharpie marker or some kind of alcohol-based marker, permanent marker, and it will do the trick. So there we go. Card number 2. I know who this one's going to. Let's just put everything away again. I've got a little bit, well, I've got quite a lot less space than I used to do. So I've got to be a bit tidier now than I was before. Okay. There we go. So Diane, you've got the embellishment kit, have you? Yeah, I have to say, normally I stamp or I create my own embellishments, as you know, but I've been quite enjoying having fun with that. And of course, a lot of this stuff you don't need to use it with the Poppy stamp set, do you? You could use it with anything. So yeah, and again, you know, when you're in a bit of a pinch and you haven't got all your supplies, this is a really cool collection of stuff that you can just put, oops, excuse me, that you can just put together to make up what you want. So let's clear those away. Okay, that's card number 2. Right, let's see, what have we got next? I think next we will do, should we do another Easter card, I think? Yeah, let's do another Easter card. So for this one, I'm going to use a Tulips set. So what we've got, and the coordinating punch. So we've got a card base in Granny Apple Green. Okay, we'll just roll that in half. And then I've die cut one of our stitched rectangle shapes. So again, we're using the same principle of just a plain card base with a raised panel with interest on it. Okay, and then I've got a scrap here, so I'm going to punch the tulip. Okay, and what I'm going to do is, if I punch it, so I'm going to punch it in Daffodil Delight. Okay, and what I'm going to do is that, if you look, when I go to punch it, okay, this will get cut off the side. So what I'm going to do is, if I punch it here, it means I'm not wasting this little bit here. I'm going to cut this out separately. So we'll just pop that on there. Okay, isn't that beautiful? This is one of our distinctive stamp sets, so it kind of includes all the shading for you. But I'm going to add a little bit more shading to it. So now you can see what I mean when I come to line it up to punch. I'm not wasting having all this punching out at the side as well. Okay, so let's do that. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take some pumpkin pie. Oh, I keep knocking my camera. See, I'm not used to my space yet. I'll get used to it. Okay, and now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take a little bit of orange, a bit pumpkin pie, onto my brush. That's it. We'll just take the excess off, and then I'm just going to very gently just add a bit more shading to the bottom here. Like so. Okay, we've just got even more dimension. Right, we'll leave these out. And then I'm going to punch some leaves. So I'm going to punch those using Granny Apple Green, which is where? Where's my Granny Apple Green ink? What have I done with it? It's here somewhere. It's here somewhere, I know for sure, because I used it the other day. Let's just see. There it is. Here we go. Okay, so now I'm going to take this leaf even, and let's grab a block. And again, just looking at the way my punch is going to punch it out, I need to stamp it this way, not this way. Okay, so on the same principle as before, I'm going to stamp it to the right hand side here. Okay, and I'm going to stamp 2, and you'll see the sense of it in a minute. Okay, stamped it, so now I can stamp this one without affecting this one here. Okay, and then I'll punch out this one, and of course all the cardstock to this side is already wasted because I've punched it out already, so just saves wasting too many of your scraps. Okay, all right, and then what I'm going to do is grab another brush. I'm going to do the same with the Granny Apple Green. I'm just going to ink up around the edges of the leaves. Just like so. So just again, very subtle, nothing major. Okay, just take the white off the edge. There we go. Okay, and now if we bring in our piece here, so we've got our tulip. Okay, and then we're going to have our leaves. All right, but I want to do some stamping in the back. So what we've got is we've got these other 2 small flowers. So we're just going to stamp those. And I'm going to just stamp those in the Daffodil Delight. So what we want is we want one here and one here, and then oops, and then I think we'll have one just poking out the back like so. And then when we put our, I think we want to fill it in a little bit more, so I'm just going to put another one here. And we'll have another one here. So we've got what looks like a bunch of flowers. Okay, and then we have our stems. So I'm going to take the straight one again, and I think we'll use some soft suede for our stems. No, we'll use the Granny Apple Green, I think. We'll use the Granny Apple Green. Thanks, Anne. I got the sponges from Amazon. I've been seeing them all around the place, seeing people using them, and thought I'd try them out, and I'm having a lot of fun with them actually. They're really quite nice. Right, so let's do some stems. Okay, so what we want is we want a big one right down the center that our piece sits on, and then we just want to join the others to stems as well. There we go, and then like I said, we'll just add some leaves in just for dimension. Okay, it's going to put that up there like that. So let's do that now. Let's pop that one on here. Okay, so let's put it up there. So I've got it sticking over the top, and then with our leaves. And do you know what? I'm going to, which is our green, I'm actually going to very lightly just ink around the edge down here in green. There we go. Yeah, I think I like that. Okay, and then get our our little strip again. We got a little strip. Let's see. Let's try it on this one. So I'm going to do the same thing as we did before for the Happy Easter. Okay, so we're going to do the Granny Apple Green. So again, just line it up with the edge of our ink pad. See if you can see that there. Okay, there, and then just make sure we don't have any on the edges, and then we'll stamp it on here. There we go. Okay, I'm just going to trim that. I'll even try and trim it till it's straight, and then I'll trim this again. We only want a skinny strip of it. Oop, it's torn on the back. Okay, so that's going to sit like so, I think. Yep. Yeah, let's pop that there. And then for the leaves, I'm just going to glue dot those. Okay, oops. I'll do it here. And then just add a little bit of dimension, and we'll just fluff this a little bit as well. And of course we'll add the obligatory wink of Stella to it, just to make it pop even more. We'll just put some on the leaves. There we go. Okay, and then just going to pop some foam pads on the back here. Okay, and then we'll bring back our card base. Oh yeah. Here we are, and then make sure it's opening the right way. And then we just line that up. And there we have it. Cute, another cute Easter card. Okay, so let's leave that there for the moment while I think I've got one more card for you. It is a bright, cheerful card, isn't it, Anne? I do like it. It's important to do bright, cheerful stuff at this moment in time, isn't it? It'd be very easy to get very down. But you know me, I always try and stay positive. There's always a silver lining. Okay, so where are we up to now? Let's put those there. Okay. All right, so the next card, Anne, if you think this is bright and cheerful, the next one I've got planned is even more so. So I thought what we would do next is I would do a rainbow card, because obviously there's lots of rainbows out there, lots of them being posted around the place. So I'm going to do my own rainbow, and I'm going to do it with butterflies. So can't have too much more cheerful things than that, rainbows and butterflies, can you? So let's see. So to save you the trouble of watching me punch out a million butterflies, I've done it already. Okay, so I'm using the Butterfly Gala stamp set. Now I've just punched them out of lots of different colours. I could have stamped them and punched them out because these match the punch, but again, just a little bit too lazy. But what I am going to do is I've got this circle and I'm going to stamp in black this sentiment here. Thank you so very much. Yes, Doreen, I was thinking of you. I always think of you when I see the butterflies now. Right, so let's grab our block. Okay, so again, we're just going to stamp this in black. There we are. Okay, I'll put that to one side. And then here what I've got is I've got a Coastal Cabana base, and then I've got my butterflies. So I've used Poppy Parade, Mango Melody, Daffodil Delight, Granny Apple Green, Coastal Cabana and Highland Heather. So, but obviously, you know, you can use whatever colours you have that make a rainbow. If indeed a rainbow is what you want to do, you could do, it would look really good if you had, you know, shades of blue or shades of pink or whatever. And then on this layer, I have, I don't know if you can see, I've just embossed it with the subtle embossing folder. Okay, so what I'm going to do, and you'll also see that I've also punched out some vellum butterflies. I'm going to use those to kind of fill in the gaps. Okay, so let's just position them roughly. So then we're just going to place our sentiment down like so. Okay, and then I want to sit down for this bit. Get my glue dots. Okay, and in fact, no, I'm not going to use my glue dots. I'm actually going to use this wet glue because I'm just using it for the centres of the butterflies, so it should be all right. Okay, I'll be here. The glue dots are just a little bit big for what I want to do. So I'm just going to put, whoop. Let's just get rid of some of that. That's way too much. Okay, so I'm just going to put a little dot of glue. Let's see if I can get the pressure right on this and not squeeze out too much each time. There we go, that's better. So it's a bit labour intensive, but I think it's totally worth it. So I'm going to put one there. one underneath a little bit. And then you can just use the vellum one to kind of fill in the gap. Okay, folks, sorry about that. That was just somebody trying to phone me. My apologies. Hopefully they've got the message that I'm not answering. So I'm just carrying on, just adding my. You haven't missed very much. It's just me working through my host of butterflies. Excuse me 1 second. Okay, alrighty. So let's pop one under here. Okay, and then what do we want next? We want the green next, I think. Is that the next colour in a rainbow? Should be okay now. We should be back on stream. Hang on. Yep, there we are. Okay, sorry about that, folks. We're back online. So yes, I think Richard of York gave Battle in Vain. Yes, green next in the rainbow. Here we go. Okay, one down here. And pop one underneath. And then we've got a vellum one on the edge. Whoop, a bit more than I wanted there. There we go. And then blue next. So this is Coastal Cabana. So I tried to pick some nice, bright, happy colours. Yeah, see, you all remember your rainbow from school. What other acronyms do we remember from school? I can't remember any. Is any of you having to have kids at home over the last few weeks? Homeschooling. Thankfully, my son Rupert's school has been open to key workers. My husband works for government, so Rupert's actually been at school. And it's been quite an interesting time for them because they're doing a lot of their stuff remotely and online. And I think a lot of the kids are actually really enjoying it. It's an excuse to be on a device, I reckon. But yeah, it's Rupert's school has been really, really fantastic. They've, you know, a lot of the teachers have recorded lessons, so they're on video, and then they're shown, and you know, they've got a really good curriculum of stuff, clear guidance of what they want the kids to do, but at the same time saying, look, you know, we understand if you can't do it, so just do what you can just to try and keep up, and then when we're all back together again, we'll catch everybody up. So I thought that was really, really good. So, you know, kids are not panicking because they're not doing their homework or whatever. And then once a week they have a Zoom call. It's not Zoom, they use something else, but it's like Zoom. So they have a call with their form teacher, so they're all on video and they can see one another and chat and stuff. So the school have been really fantastic about how they support all the kids. I've been really impressed. All right, there we go. And then I want to add some jewels. So just bear with me a minute while I find some, because I want some little ones. Here we go. Okay, and then I'm just going to just on the vellum ones. Just going to add some gems. Whoop. There you go. Oh, that one didn't pick up. Here we are. Ooh. Oh, my finger is sticky. There we are. And then one up here. I think that should do it. Let's see. Yep, I think that should do it. Be careful not to over embellish. Okay, and then Thanks, Diane. I think the vellum just fills it in without it getting too busy, you know, just a nice balance, because I didn't want to put, I wanted a whole horde of butterflies, but at the same time I didn't want them to be fighting with one another. Stampin' Up need a stamp to say, just fluttering by to say thank you. That's a really good idea, Anne. Wouldn't it be lovely? It would be fantastic. Well, you never know. There might be something in the catalogue. The new catalogue is coming out at the end of May. And as demonstrators, we'll get to see it. I think we get to see it in about a fortnight's time. So I'm really looking forward to seeing what's in store. And then I can start planning projects for you all. Unfortunately, there'll be no open house this year. Even if I was in the UK, we wouldn't be able to have one. So we might, maybe we'll have like an online party or something. I don't know. We'll think about it. Any ideas you guys have as to how we could celebrate the launch of the new catalogue together, let me know. Leave me a comment. Ooh, and I'll see what we can do. So then I'm just going to stand up for this bit now so I can line up. And there we go. And there we have it. Beautiful. No, what's missing, ladies? We've had it on every other card. So let's just put some Wink of Stella on our butterflies. So this is a bit of a labour of love, this card, but I think it's worth it. It's not a quick one, but it's easy. It's just repetitive, I guess, just getting the butterflies on there. But for me, when doing something like this, you'll see when I opened it up, I kind of had it all laid out already. So to me, that's the key with something like this, is to just play around with it before you stick it down, so you've got a rough idea where you want everything to go. Helps you get the layout right. There we go. Oh yeah. And then we'll just flip some of these wings up here and there, just so we've got a bit of extra dimension. Oh yeah, and there we go. There we have it. Can you see the sparkle on them? There, can you see that? Cute. So there we have it, ladies. 4 cards. Let me just bring in the others. So we have the butterflies. We have our 2 Easter cards. And we have our Poppies thank you card. So now it's over to you. It's the usual, okay? Is it the tulip, the poppy, the butterflies, or the thank you, or the red poppy? Let me know what you think. And as I say again, it's been so lovely chatting with you guys again. It's lovely to be back, and I plan to be here every Tuesday at 7 p.m. going forward. And I'm really, really looking forward to seeing you all again. Oh, thank you so much, Anne. Yeah, butterflies are not my go-to, but yes, I do love a host of them. I think it's very, very pretty. I'll have to think of somebody very special to give this one to. I thought that would be a really nice one, perhaps to give to a health worker or someone like that, because it's got the rainbow on it. But there you go. So I look forward to your votes and see which ones were your favourites. And again, thank you all again so much. It's been lovely, and I'll see you all again next week. Bye.